the Feinstein gun bill, and AWR Hawkins joins us now. How are you tonight, sir?
Doing great. Great to be with you all.
Great to have you. And so your headline is all gun owners should be registered, fingerprinted. What's your take on this piece of legislation, AWR?
Well, my take is, of course, it is garbage. It is anti-freedom to the core. I don't think it has a prayer. I thought it had a prayer when it was only an assault weapons ban, but the depth, the breadth of it, I don't think it has a prayer now. I believe it is more or less. This is just my hunch. I think it's a trial balloon. They want to see how far they've been able to push the American people. You know, basically, I think they're looking to see how strong the pushback will be against this.
Sure.
And when can they float this again? Maybe that's the next public shooting. Maybe that's after the next election cycle's over. I don't know, but I believe this has turned into a trial balloon where they're trying to ascertain where we stand as a country on this issue.
AWR, what's the public purpose behind it? I mean, listen, we all know that legislation's got to have some sort of impact. What are they hoping to achieve by forcing everybody to get fingerprinted? I mean, fingerprinting. Why fingerprinting? I mean, what's the significance there?
Well, the whole deal is we're going to create a gun registry. I say we. I don't want to use that language.
Got it. No, I get it. Yeah.
They want to create a gun registry. That's plain and simple. Anybody can read Feinstein's language. Her language is very clear. She says, look, here's a bone I'll throw to gun owners. For people who own guns we're banning, we'll grandfather them in. And we're supposed to go, ooh, the government is so nice. And then in the very next line, they say, but the weapons grandfathered in must be registered. That includes a serial number and a type registry. But it also includes the owner of the gun will be fingerprinted, photographed, and another background check performed, even though one was probably performed when he or she bought the weapon. What this will also do, besides create the registry, it will take away the freedom I have right now. If I want to sell a .38 revolver to my daddy, maybe my daddy wants to sell me his 9mm. We'll just swap them out. That's gone. Because if Feinstein's bill goes into effect, every exchange of a firearm, whether through an FFL or through a private exchange, will have to be handled as if it were through an FFL, and it just buckles everything.
And AWR, you make a good point about this being a trial balloon, because when you think about this, a lot of people are talking, the gun control folks in the wake of recent events talking about, reintroducing the assault weapons ban. But this so goes far beyond that, whether because it's multiple types of firearms, it's the fingerprinting and the registration. It's so much more involved in this. Maybe it's a test balloon to see how much can we get? How far can we push?
Well, that's exactly right. The other issue, listen, I have a problem with this at its core. I have a problem with this when it's just an assault weapons ban, because we have one criminal, and I wrote on this, I think, a week ago. We have one criminal who acts in a tragic manner. I have young children. I know that news would be horrible had that happened at their school. I don't dismiss that, but one criminal commits a crime with a gun he did not own, a gun he stole. He was not a gun owner, and because of his crime, now Feinstein would like to punish 100 million law-abiding gun owners. I mean, on its face, it is a joke, but no one can laugh at it because she's serious about it.
And
so we're going to have to defeat this.
This is what I get to is this issue of what does, let's just focusing on that one discrete part, this issue of fingerprinting. What does that achieve? I mean, the fingerprinting would not have stopped Adam Lanza from shooting this. It wouldn't have stopped his mother from having her gun stolen from her. It doesn't prevent one gun from getting in the hands of someone who is not legally permitted to have one. It seems to me to be this sort of bureaucratic make-workism masquerading as public policy. So I'm just trying to, is there some justification that I'm missing? I don't claim to be the smartest man in the world. And so sometimes I need stuff explained to me. Is there something that this actually does? Who does fingerprinting gun owners benefit?
Well, it benefits. This is where there was a time when you would lose people saying what I'm getting ready to say. I don't think we're in that time anymore. Here's what happened. The purpose of registration is so they know where the guns are.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And as the NRA has made the case tirelessly, and I'm all for the NRA on this, and that's why I'm an NRA member and proud to be one, the NRA has made the case correctly. Registration leads to confiscation.
Mm-hmm.
We had Andrew Cuomo just a couple of weeks ago say, look, confiscation is a viable deal. Of course, he still wants to appear above the fray, but so he says, whatever we confiscate, though, we will repay. We will do a forced payback. Yeah. That's not how freedom works.
Well,
there is no room for confiscation. The Second Amendment says shall not be infringed. 4 words that you have to deal with as a politician or an office holder.
It's actually funny because I'm still trying to track down. Somebody was on Fox last week talking about this issue of using the Fifth Amendment's takings clause to confiscate these weapons, and that's that is my area of expertise is private property rights, and
Dr. Hawkins and Andrew, they called it it was like called a mandatory buyback or something, and that's scary language for it's confiscation, mandatory buyback,
and it's one of these things where again, as we sort of talk about the vitriol and stuff that would not have been done 5 years ago. The idea that we would even be at this point where you have this Orwellian language being used, this idea, again, getting back to things like the Obamacare mandate, it's not a mandate, it's a tax.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, frankly, these are scary times that we live in these sorts of situations. But sorry, Doc, go ahead.
No, so I was just trying to compliment what you're saying. That, the First Amendment is not against the Second, nor is the Second Amendment against the Third, nor the Third against the Fourth, nor the Fourth against the Fifth, on and on. They were written because our founders recognized a body of God-given rights. They come to us from God through nature.
Amen.
The government has no role in it whatsoever. The whole purpose of the Bill of Rights is not to tell the government what they can and can't seize. It is to tell the government, hands off of these rights. These are not government-instituted rights. They're not government-regulated rights.
Mm-hmm.
Whether
Government
we're talking about
rights.
guns, speech, religion, whatever it is, whether we're talking about private property, hands off.
Yep.
And anytime we allow them to step in and go this far down the road, we are as guilty as they are, I believe, because we need to educate the public in a way that the public understands. These are your rights being taken, not rights the government gave you, rights God gave you, and they are trampling them.
Absolutely. Dr. A.W.R. Hawkins, Breitbart.com. Thank you, sir, for the work you do and continue to do to protect our Second Amendment and all our freedoms. We appreciate you being on the program here tonight, and have
we do.
Have a great rest of the holiday season and a Happy New Year, okay?
Thank you, guys. Have a great New Year. God bless you.